Good morning, hello. And let's see, let me turn that off too. Sitsu, hello. Good morning. I think I got everything set up here. Oh, I need to turn in. Okay, I have multiple devices that need power. So hold on for 1 second. I've got another computer with chat that I need to monitor over here. So it's possible that sometime during the stream I'll get a message that I'll need to take care of right away. I don't know if that will be a end of the stream type thing or if I could just take care of something really quickly. At that point, it's sort of like up in the air right now. It's the fun parts of working. Okay, so I am keeping my eye on the things. All right, so what are we working on today? Here though, here yesterday I got a report that Yewdux was updated, which I had known that Udex had updated, but then I forgot to look into it. Well, the new report is that if you're going through the full stack introduction to U course, it's saying that Udex doesn't have some of the methods that we were using, and therefore can't doesn't work. So I wanted to spin up the backend, the Express server so that it works. And then I don't know if I want to do like the individual lessons to look into that, although maybe that would be good. Or if I wanted to just go straight into our solution to sort of see that. Potentially, we could take a look at using Udex here. So if I open, let's see, okay, so here's our store. There's the display to get this out. Oh, this is a full component. Udex functional is probably what we want. Because I believe that they're also merging Udex functional into Yewdux 2. 2? No, just Yewdux as well. Okay, so we have this use store here. Oh, and you know what I should do? I should also pull up. I should pull up the comment. Oh wait, that might have been in Discord. Let's see about that. Was that in Discord? No. Okay, not there. Okay, yeah, it was under course help. Okay, so Udex update to 0.8 removes basic store and dispatch props. Can't really follow the course if you don't have those. So basic store got removed, and okay. So if I try to run you, so let's see if we can run the Udex functional here. Because I believe this is front end only, and this is going to be the simplest thing that we could possibly do. So this is lessons Udex functional. All right, first I want to make sure it runs as is, and then we're going to update Udex. Oh, that did not work. Third main panic, kind of call wasm bindgen imported functions to non-wasm targets. Oh, right, there was a way to fix this, and I forget exactly what there was. We had to install wasm bindgen CLI, right? It's been long enough now that I forgot exactly what we did to solve this. Uh, was that part of? No, we didn't have anything for that. I think it was just installing wasm bindgen CLI. Let's throw this into a search engine though. I think it's wasm bindgen CLI as the answer though. Five months ago. So that's relatively recent. Oh, right. It's how did I try to start this? Cargo run. It's trunk. Uh yeah, it's trunk serve. And here's me in a back like too much in the back end context. Okay, there we go. 88 port 8080. Twisted Seed, hello. All right, so we've got this showing. So if we throw things in here, then it's displaying. Okay, so it's storing into Yewdux, and then I'm able to see what is inside of Udex here, and then I click login, and we just get this random token. Okay, which is also in Udex, I believe. So, looking at this is all in here. So in store, we have this, and we're using basic store. Okay, so let's try now cargo.toml. So we have Udex functional. Now that is the latest version still, but Yewdux now has 0.82. So let's increase U. Any new cool features with Yewdux? I believe there is. Um, and let's see. When this came out a little while ago, and who is it? It was Intended Null, who I who is the maintainer of it. Let's see what he's got. So Intended Null was waiting for was waiting for you to upgrade to 0.2 as opposed to 0.19, so 0.20, I guess, and decided to like there's a bunch of features that didn't really need 0.20, and so therefore is just sort of merged them in. So like, hey, let's get it going, and I think that's good. And there's a list of what was updated. Although this is there's also a book. Yes. What extension is this for version control? This is crates. So if we take a look at extensions, it's this one right here. Crates. Is there a way for me to get like the link for this? Yeah. Okay. That there we go. Here it is. Okay. So Yewdux store it. Do the new Udex book. Here is this in case you're interested in that. Oh, okay. It doesn't look like it has like new versions that are in here, uh, or like what changed. But this is a brand new book that's being written for how to set up and do everything. All right, so let's go and see if I've updated you to 0.82. So first of all, if I don't change anything else, if we're using Udex functional and Udex here, what happens? Do back to, oh, I don't even have that other file in here, do I? Back to store. You're not upset at this, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Um, oh, here we go. Okay. Trunk is upset though. Okay, so not found this scope. I think what we need to do is open this in a new code window. And I believe now REST Analyzer should help us out with the types. There we go. Okay. So can I find it in a store? Checking for quick fixes, see if I could find maybe another one sit in similar location. Cannot find. Okay, so if I no, cannot find that. Okay, so when I do command dot to see if I can find it there, it cannot find it. All right, so let's go to the brand new book here and sort of see what it wants us to do. So we got latest version of Yewdux. We get some examples. We have our store. Derive store now. That's interesting. Oh, do we not need this at all anymore? Oh, wait. This is okay. Do we not need that? Yeah, this might be how we do basic store, is just telling it that it is a type store. Okay, so if we don't need you, okay, so then you're yelling at me that we don't need the basic store here, so let's fix you first. Okay, so you're saying we have this struct. We're gonna drive default partial equal and then store. So derive clone default. Uh, let's try just adding in store. Um, your type. Okay, so your type now. Now this one I'm initting to give me. I don't actually think we need this init at all. I don't think we need you. Uh, binary. Okay, so you need partial equal to. Okay, so let's go to okay, both of you are just using the basic store here. Excuse me. All right. So let's see. What's next? I want. Okay. So instead of basic store, we now need to figure out how to use store. Uh, now I don't see anything here for. If I do equals use store. Now here's interesting. So use store is now inside of Udux. So let me remove use store from Udux functional, and we're gonna do use store in here, which is in the prelude now. Okay, so use store takes in, okay, it takes in a type, an RCS, and an example, just the state, which is that thing. Okay, that's easy enough. And so this store is the Udex store. So like that. All right, so now that gives me an RC Udex store and then the dispatch out of here. So you change with, we have the store and dispatch. Now to get the dispatch, we're just starting with dispatch. Now that this still exists, so reduce callback with still exists. You are going to be different what you take in. You take in a callback with E where function RC store and then E, which is static. I would imagine that that is the event, but maybe not. Let's set this up. So if I just do store like this, what are you? Closure is expected to take 2 arguments. Okay, store event. Okay. Type annotations needed, so it doesn't know what that. So I think this is correct. Is we have the store and the event, which would be that focus event. I would imagine. We immediately do event that prevent default. Um, oh wait, am I returning the wrong thing? Should I be returning something? Callback F returns R plus static. Interesting. So it returns this new count. It returns the okay. Reduce callback with. Oh, this I might not want reduce callback with then, because it's essentially like a reduce where it's like the new thing coming in that I want to return, and it wants me. So if I take this F, come on, stay with me. So I return E. I take an E here. E is something that implements static, and I return R plus static. R is into RCS. And if I have the state, I have a count, and I return a new count. But also provides the fired event. So I need to return anything. State that token. I don't think I want to return the event. Probably not. Even if I do something like that. Oh, impl of into Yewdux store for this. So what if I return the store? There we go. It likes that. Although in this case, it's probably the state that I want to return. Okay. Handle username change, store. Okay, so another dispatch here. Reduce callback with. Okay, so we have state, event. We do all this stuff, and then we return state. Oh, I suppose this is how it's handling the changes. So we're mutating it here, and then it sort of gets updated. So it's a little bit different, a little bit cleaner. Okay, I don't think there's any more errors inside of here, and I don't need this log or this deref. Okay, so we have let's go to display. Now display, okay, we're using uStore. We don't have to do all this, the basic store part. just do that. So Udex store. Right, because this is not part of Udex functional anymore. So I don't want that one. Okay, then, all right, so we do store. Now it doesn't have a state anymore, so I want to grab something out of it. So, oh, right, also because I need to do this, where we have the store and then the dispatch. And in this case, it doesn't look like I need the dispatch. Okay, so store. Now I need to, because I haven't, this is an RC, I probably want to just unwrap it. Oh no, it's not a ref cell. It's just an RC, so I should be able to deref into it. Okay. Let's see. So can I just grab what I want? So can I just do store dot username? Uh, and I don't want to take ownership of it. Now I want you to be the password. So let's do. Okay, back to you. Cannot assign to data in an RC. Right. Oh, okay. So it's a RC. So I need to create a new store, I believe, and then assign to that, and then we return it. So first of all, this is a state. Okay, here's the state with an RC inside of it. I want to trait DRFMute is required to modify through a dereference, but is not implemented for RC Udex store. I would imagine that I need to just create a new store or a new state. That state equals state dot. What can I do? I could clone it. Oh, but that doesn't clone. That clones the RC. Um, as ref clone, that gives me the Udex store, and then I update you. So I create the token, I set the token, and I return this new state. And then you're happy here. I'm not using this store at all. So basically we have the getter and then we have the setter for this. Now, I don't actually know that this is exactly what they have in mind. It doesn't look like they have. Well, let's go back to the book again. Let's double check. Persistent. So now. Okay, so for a dispatch. Okay, so I could go straight for a dispatch like this. Although if I use store, aha, a dispatch is also given when using a functional hook. So use store with counter, and here's our dispatch. Changing global state with dispatch. We have dispatch set, assign the store to the given value. So dispatch.set counter count 0. Can you not use reduce mute callback? Probably. Well, let's try that next. Dispatch set callback. Generate a callback that will set the store to a given value. Now, interesting. So so that sets it to a given value. Reduce, assign the state of the store using a reducer. Okay, so reduce callback with. This is what we were doing before. So we have counter and the event. And that's just setting either set counter or counter. Okay. Mutation with less boilerplate. Okay, so reduce mute. There we go. Okay, so this is the one we want to do. Reduce mute callback with. This is what I want. Reduce mute callback with. I didn't actually read the rest of that, so we're going to find out whether or not it's as simple as I'm hoping it would be. So reduce mute callback with. Now, if I do that, we have the state. So I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to take that state, that token, and I don't return anything, I believe, now. Aha, okay, so I think that works. So if I'm not returning anything, I just do reduce mute callback with, and you're happy, and same thing here. Okay, okay, I have no errors. That should did okay, you're not running here, so I could run you here. All right, so if I do, hey, that's still working. My lovely password. And okay, everything still seems to be working here. So that's great. Now if I want to I remember reading about it before. It creates a clone if there are multiple references to the RC. Otherwise, it uses the existing store. Nice. I mean, so far this has the biggest change here for us is in the display. Look at this. We've gone from multiple lines to extract things out to just here. You've got it. It's easy. Uh, to the point where I don't know if it's even necessary to do this anymore. We were doing this to not clutter up the template with just a bunch of like dot maps. We don't need that anymore, which is really nice. And we can just grab references straight out, which is also really nice. Okay, so so there is that. Now, I believe at this point we don't need Udex functional anymore. So if I hit save on that, you're happy here. Well, you're going to be happy here. No, you're not. We're going to have a whole bunch of errors because we were pulling in Yewdux functional in a bunch of different places, I believe. No, you are happy. Okay, never mind. I'm not using Yewdux functional anymore. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the question though is, do I want to recreate this this lesson, as it were? I don't know if it's that big. Let's see. What do we have? So come back to here. We have Udux functional, but looking at everything else, I was setting this up very small, so if I needed to, I could recreate some of them. So one complicated state I don't believe is using any of that. No. Now Udux, I don't believe has had any major changes to it too, but we should double check this one too. So we have setting up Udux as well. All right, well let's start by nope, Toml. Let's bring in the latest version of Udux here. Okay, so we got some errors. Right, it's because of the basic store thing. I found that a lot in here. Okay, so because we're doing that counter example. That's what we're doing. So we need to re-record setting up Udux. You're not Udux. Okay, that's good. Using Udux to store form data, we'll need to do this one and then Udux functional. So that's 3 new lessons to do. Okay, do I still have 743? I might be able to do one of them now. And then the solution. So the entire solution, I'm using an older version of everything. So I'm thinking probably just a quick video ahead of that to sort of state, hey, there's a problem with this. Okay, let's. I think maybe for the rest of today, it will be looking into setting up. Well, I've already got Yewdux functional down. I don't really know. Where's my README? Oh, it's not in here at all. Okay. Sorry about how tiny it is. Apparently this is too wide. I'm looking for the Udex stuff. So anything with Udux in the name. Okay, so I have 5 things. But 5 things. 2 of them are over here in the center. So we have the setting up Udux, using Udux to store form data, and Udux functional. Setting up Udux is the first one. So I probably want to do that one first. Okay, so if I come back to Is Yewdux functional? Setting up Yewdux. Let's just sort of let's remember what exactly this is. So I just have a count store here. Input default for Udex store. Dispatch okay, so then I have a basic store. All right, well, I'm working in this other branch here. So hold on, before I go and do even more stuff. This is all friend. Okay, yeah, I'm good here. Let's revert all of you. I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and change to the main branch. I don't, yeah, I haven't made any changes. Let's create a new branch, which we're going to call Udex. And then we'll do playing around in here for that. Okay, so setting up Udex. Everything is working okay right now. Let's go ahead and get this running and sort of see what our app looks like. We have our at counter, button has been pressed. Right, I think we put in a default in here, didn't we? Display count, counter, the button has been pressed 22 times. Okay, so the checklist for this specific one is okay, so we're gonna create. Let's create a README. So this is setting up Yewdux. Not, I guess, like checklist. All right, so obviously we have like spin up the main app. I believe that what I'm probably going to do is just reset it. So we just starting with a basic app. We want to create. We want to create the store with a default value. Okay, so create store with create counter store. Okay, so create the counter store with default value. Display counter. So that's display the counter here. It looks like I put in. Oh, I put in this one multiple times to show that it doesn't matter how many times it's in the DOM, it will just still work as expected because each of these are going to the same store. I don't actually know if that's really necessary for a lesson like this. And then okay, so that one. Then we're gonna create a button. Okay, so create button to increment count. And I think that's pretty much it, right? Okay. And I guess like before then, we want to install Udex. So if I reset everything that we have here, that would be removing these. So taking you, You, I'll keep the main library. I'll keep main. Router and store. We delete you. Counter, display count, router, store. Oh, you know what? Having the router here probably is not bad. Oh, so you know what I could start with? I could start with the basic app. So instead of having, so we won't have a store necessarily, but we can have a router, we have main, we have library. We can have the display for it. Uh, and we can have counter for it. I think the reason for the router show is to show that you don't really need like it's a global state, so across different routes. Because I think this one is yeah, we just have slash. I'm not necessarily convinced that router here helps the lesson at all. And so if I start over by creating new components for everything, and we just have the main library, so let's get rid of you. I don't need router. I don't need store. I need you prelude. Don't need you router prelude. I don't need Yewdux prelude yet. Um, oh, right, we're doing this style. I keep on forgetting this, but I don't think we don't need to store the dispatch here. Uh, so we just have an empty app, input component for app, okay, type message, properties. Uh, okay, so let's set this to be nothing too. Create. Okay, so our context, dispatch, don't need this thing. That's why I had that in it before. Because I just copied this for the Udux functional, and I wasn't really like removing other stuff. Self. Yeah, there's nothing for you to have here, so that's good. And then in the view, we don't need with dispatch, we don't need browser router. It's just sort of empty here. We just have app like that. And then in cargo toml, we're going to remove, I don't need stylist. I don't need glue. I don't think I need any of these things because we are just doing the basic setting up of Yewdux. So we just start like this. All right, so this is going to be practice. I guess first I'm going to commit these. And probably the rest of today's stream is just practicing for this to figure out what I want to do. Why were you showing red for a second? You seem to be happy. And if we come back to here, yes, we just have this app. Excellent. Okay. That's exactly what we wanted. So then, all right. So what do we want to do? We want to, I think, let's just follow this to see. Install Udex. Okay. Well, first things first, we need to go find Udex. So that is creates.io, Yewdux. This is where we would find it, and we can add it in this way. Or I can do cargo add, but that's not yet in Rust by default, which is too bad. So we add you in here. Oh, that's weird. While it's still building, it gives me an error in the template. And then the error goes away. Well, that's not fun. I don't think I like that. Okay, so we've got you. Then next up, we okay. So we've installed Udex. I want to not do that. I want to now create a counter store with a default value. Okay, so we're gonna create a new. Why do I still have counter at RS and display RS? I want you going away. We're gonna create those as new things as soon as we can. Okay, so we have a store. Um, I think what I want to do to be a little bit more proper, we're gonna create a stores. Okay, so I'll create a mod stores, and then I'm going to create a counter in here. Now, the reason for this is because we're sort of moving in the industry towards multiple stores and have them be small and sort of their own information. So you might have an authentication store. You might have a store for something else. And this is my favorite way to set that up. And if I just set up like a single store file, that might cause any learners to like just only go with that route, which is not necessarily the best way. Let's just go straight towards the way we want to do it. Okay, so we have our counter here. So I want a pub struct. I want to do this as counter store, and you're going to have a pub count, which is a let's say U32. We then want to derive store, which we use the Udex store, but we can also use Yewdux prelude, and that gives us the store. And then you're going to yell at me until we get all the things right, right? So default needs to be implemented, and we can either implement that ourselves. The default for count is going to be 0, so that's fine. So we need default. Next up, it's going to yell at us about cannot. Okay, equals, that's partial equal. And that's the bare minimum we need for this. Okay. Then back to you. I want to display, it's not stores. I want to display count. Okay, so let's do use prelude. We'll do a We're not doing function components in here. We're not doing function components. So we're doing a pub struct display count. I think I can actually just get away with that, can't I? So impl components for display count. Okay, so type message. I don't need anything in here. Type properties. I don't need anything in here. Yet. We'll see about this. Okay, so in create, um, not using the context, and I'm just returning a self like that. In the view, let's do an H. So we are definitely only using one of these. No, we already have the app in the other ones. This has to be an H2. Here we're gonna say the count is, or maybe counter value. Counter value. Then down here, we're gonna put this as probably just a div. Now I need to get the counter value out here to display it, which I believe. Okay, so let's go back to the book here and let's see how we get this out. So store listeners, default value, because I don't need to dispatch from here. Now this is interesting. So they have listeners. This might be interesting for doing some kind of like calls out or something else. We'll have to take a look into that later. And that's going to be beyond the scope of like just introduction. So not defining the store, quick start example. It's a function component. Oh, they don't. Okay, they don't have much here. Let's go to the examples folder and let's see if we could find. Okay, so basic. That's functional app. Okay, so we are they no longer gonna do doing non like a struct component examples? Feature listener manual, multi-component, no copy, persistent. Hmm. Hmm. I would hope that you could have an example um, for both function and non-function components. Okay, so under Udex, do you have here? Yeah, it's going straight for functional components now, which is fine. That is fine. Like I myself prefer functional components, but there is a world where people either have to or just prefer to use struct components. Now I can't use the use store. Um, I can't just do like use store with this. Can I do? I don't want to do as a dispatch. I want to grit this out. Let's see what I got here. So in view. So if I do let's I guess like we could also look at any of the other examples just to see. Do you have so we looked at basic. This cool font size is finally visible. Wait, isn't I was I know there's a little bit where I had the font size way, way, way down. So sorry about that. Also, Ox Vivek, hello and welcome. Okay, so you are function component still. They're all function components. What am I doing with Axum? Oh, so did I not update the stream information? I thought I did. Check it out. Yeah. I am building. Okay, so for Axum, we're building a backend for a to-do application, and then after I sort of go through that, make sure that I understand everything that I need to understand, we're going to create a course on introduction to Axum, just for like the basic getting started part of it. Right now, we're taking a look into the front end again with you. Because Yewdux updated and like it changed a lot of how to use it for the better. But we're looking like I need to re-record some of the lessons in Introduction to You for Udex, and I'm looking for these are all function components. Struct components, information of how to use it here, which I am not seeing any examples. Okay, here we go. Here we have a struct app. Oh, look at that. Okay, so its suggestion is that we store state as the RC state, our local version of state. So what is this? This is in manual. And then we just store the dispatch. Okay, so message, we have state. Properties we don't need. In create, we do dispatch state. Okay. Oh, I don't need to subscribe, I don't think. Maybe I do. This dispatch is from this one. Okay, interesting. So dispatch get. Oh, okay. So I do need to do this. So dispatch state subscribe. And that gets me, okay, so context link callback message state. which is this. Now that's interesting. I'm not passing in the state here. I'm just telling it what to do. And then that gets me an RC state and then dispatch. Okay. Okay, interesting. So we need dispatch here. So all right. So let's start with dispatch equals dispatch from Udex, which means we need our counter store. And then we subscribe on change. Okay, create a dispatch that subscribes to changes in state. Latest state is sent immediately, and on every subsequent change, automatically unsubscribes when this dispatch is dropped. Okay, so context, link, callback, message states. Then we need it's really just going to be an enum message to state, and that's RC state. And that's not just state, this is our counter state, our counter store. And then we have none. Oh, that's pretty much this. When we send a message, that's what it is. So on subscribe, this is context. Link, callback. Then message state. Okay. But we don't pass anything in. Oh, I'm missing one more of that. Am I? Okay, so you're not happy. Why? Okay, so you're this message state. You're not actually passing anything in with that. Oh, type message. Well, okay, I might need to do that too. So type message. Fine, we'll do that. Oh, okay, that does make you happy. Although you're upset now. Can't leak. Okay, so you need to be public. Uh, um, okay, so we have you as a dispatch now. So we can store this away as a dispatch. Okay. Although you're not ever, you're just displaying. So I never need, okay, I don't actually need to store the dispatch because I'm never going to use the dispatch part of it. This is really just going to store the store itself. So count, like counter is an RC of counter store. So then I want self counter is dispatch dot get, like that. Okay. Counter value. Okay, then here we can say I want you to be self dot counter dot count. You're not updating your success. Oh wait, you know what? Creating and using that component might be helpful, just a tiny bit. So I have our app here, and then I want to pull in display count. So let's use display count, display count. There we go. Our counter value is 0 now. Excellent. Okay. So the next steps would be to create the component to increment the counter. And then we'll be able to display that. That will be the full lesson, right? So if we update you, we created a counter score with a default value. We are displaying the counter now. The final thing would be to create the button to increment the count. Unfortunately, I need to go for my day job, and I have an emergency thing I need to take care of there. So I will have to delay the rest of this until tomorrow morning. So sorry about that. But we'll continue working with Yewdux and setting this up and getting this all going here tomorrow. And same with today. I'll be back. I start the stream at around 7 a.m. Mountain Time. So I hope that you all have a great rest of your days. And I shall see you next time. Bye.